Been a little while since the last video. Been pretty busy couple weeks. Moved out from where I was going to school. Moved back home. And started my new job. So it's just been kind of hectic getting into a new schedule and figuring out when I'm doing training and all that. So this was my last week of training in Edmonton, where I'm going to school at my weightlifting gym. Started that week off with like power snatches from blocks and power cleans. They didn't go very well. And then middle of the week I had full snatches, maxing out. Took me 3 tries on 100 before I got it. I call that a training make. I pretty much stood it up. I just kind of lost balance with it overhead at the end. And then I went for 105. And I smoked it. I was so happy with that. First time making a PR in the snatch in almost a year, so I was really stoked. In about 10 months, I think, from 100 to 105, so really stoked. Went for 110, but just overpulled it a bit. By the end of this program here at the weightlifting gym, my lower back was just so fried. And cleans especially were very hard. I was barely able to pull most of my cleans off the ground. Couldn't get under 120 at all. Tried waving back down to get him. So yeah, this was supposed to be a max out clean session, but didn't quite work out that way. Yeah, as you see right there, kind of pulled it off the ground, but didn't make it happen. So it was very taxing mentally, and my back wasn't in any pain or anything. It just no energy in it. So now I'm back home in my garage gym and starting this week off with some muscle snatches. I was still pretty fatigued this week, and working with a bit of a different coach, just because my normal coach is older and he doesn't really do online coaching or anything like that. So one of my buddies is helping me out with programming, watching over my lifts, and we just kind of started it a little too heavy this week. Figured out to have some greater recovery, but body was mostly my lower back. That's mostly where my problems were. So my goal for this summer definitely is to get a much bigger deadlift, to be able to handle all the load that my coach back in Edmonton gives me. But this last week there, yeah, started out pretty good. Muscle snatches felt pretty solid. Full snatches overall felt pretty good. Usually my back isn't as big of a problem in snatches, but it's like very, very apparent in the clean and jerks. So that's something we're working to fix. This first week back was kind of just experimenting, seeing where I was, and we saw that I was very, very fatigued. But overall, it was a pretty decent week, and I wasn't sleeping a whole lot, so there's quite a bit of misses this week. The first week back, just because, yeah, I was probably getting about 5-6 hours of sleep every night because of my new job. I'm waking up at 5:30 every day, and just figuring out the schedule for it. So after that first week, I feel I'm more kind of in tune with my schedule. It's kind of already set now, and I feel like it'll be pretty good, pretty solid going forward. And just focusing on getting some more quality sleep is also the goal now as well, going to bed earlier than I was. It also doesn't help that moving back home is a 1-hour time difference. So not only was I missing sleep, but my circadian rhythm was all out of whack as well. But despite that, pushed through these sessions as much as I could and did my best for them. Overall, pretty happy with my snatches recently. I just have to make sure I'm keeping the bar close after extension and doing my best to have a nice powerful second extension or second pull. And usually with that, I'm pretty happy, but cleans have been pretty hard off the floor. These were just supposed to be clean pulls. and they weren't happening at that weight. I was able to do them at 110, that was 120, but that wasn't really happening. And then I find my lower back also really affects my jerks of any kind. So tried going up to 90 and then 100, but just couldn't keep them up. Some no-foot snatches. I remember this day was actually pretty solid, despite the fatigue. Kind of lowered the weight on all the prescribed reps and everything, and just kept going on with it. Ooh, missed that one. Sometimes I kind of make these silly mistakes in my lifting where I probably wouldn't make them if I was with my regular coach, because he'd be able to tell me right away what I'm doing. But this is good for me because I'm able to kind of figure out what I'm doing wrong. So that's a plus side of training by myself, but sometimes you can't figure it out and it's just a pain in the butt. But overall, I really like these no-foots. They really help me with my pull under the bar. Feel very connected. And with 80 kilos I don't think I've ever no-foot snatched over 80 kilos before, so I was pretty happy with that for a double. Then moving on to some clean plus hang clean. And even though my back was pretty tired, these were no problem. $80, $90 for the warm-ups. Or 80 was a warm-up. These were 90 kilos working set. And then up to 100 kilos after that. But clean technique has been feeling a little off, especially just with the back fatigue. And I definitely find clean plus hang clean helps me kind of get back into the groove. Clean plus hang clean and no foot cleans as well really, really help me out. So I find that these have been pretty helpful. 100, couple sets, and then 105. Because I was feeling pretty good, so we just added that extra set at the end. But was a bit grindy on that second hang clean, so we called it there. Some positive knee snatches. So we're adding in a lot more kind of pulling variations as well to get my pull up. Get much stronger there. It's going to be a big benefit for me, especially like I was saying earlier. I need a bigger deadlift before I go back so I can handle all the stuff my coach gives me. But these are feeling pretty solid. I like pause at knee for snatches. Helps me get my kind of movement pattern feeling right. And then overhead press. I think those are the two areas I want to work on the most, is overhead ability and my pulling ability. Like lower back and glutes. And some squats. These are supposed to be 6 sets of 4, but I accidentally read it as 4 sets of 6, which is fine. I'm actually kind of happy I did 4 sets of 6 because, I don't know, it was challenging. And I know I could do 4 sets of 6 at 130 before. So knowing I could still do that was pretty encouraging for sure, especially with the way my back was feeling. My leg strength hasn't gone anywhere. And they're looking pretty good, I think, as well. Just some nice solid squats. Yeah, moving pretty well. The unfortunate thing about my work right now is that when I go to train, I train right after work. And it's usually around 4 o'clock that I start working out, which isn't the best time for me. I'm usually pretty tired and like sleepy around that time. but it's just what I gotta do. I can't usually work out too much later, or at least I don't like to, but so far it's the time that works the best. And then some close grip, clean grip snatch. I had never done these before, so it was very unique, but these felt very good. Just really focusing on pulling under and getting into the bottom position. Start with 40 and then 50. Also, my garage, there's like no good way to get a good camera angle. It's pretty cramped, so you'll probably see a bunch of different camera angles in this video and in future videos as well. Just trying to get a good video of the lifting. And then some power clean and push press. These felt pretty solid as well. I know that when my power clean is feeling good, my full clean feels good. And these are feeling a bit off, but they'll get better the more I do them for sure. Feeling pretty solid. And then clean pulls, and they did not go very well. I got up to 130 kilos, I think, or even just 120, and then I couldn't get 140 off the ground. And then this was Saturday. The shoelace broke on my Nikes, so I switched over to these Adidas shoes. Definitely feel very different, and probably wasn't the best idea to switch them up like on a heavy day. But overall, most of the snatches went pretty well. Back was definitely fatigued pretty heavily by this day. I was just trying to get as much work in as I could, despite that. But yeah, the shoes, changing the shoes up was felt definitely a bit weird, especially because these Adidas have much lower heels than the Nikes do. So definitely changed my movement pattern a bit. Definitely, I don't think it helped too much, but it definitely felt different. And then clean and jerks, clean front squat jerk, but by this point I was just so fatigued. Anyways, thank you for watching, and get ready for next video.